What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So this was something I contemplated not talking about this because I don't like dwelling on negatives too much, but it bothered me. It's been bothering me. I said to myself, if this still is bothering me as of this morning, I'm gonna go ahead and do a video about it. It's still bothering me a little bit, so I gotta get this out. I noticed that the night of the All-Star game, and it's not everywhere, but it's in enough places so that it's definitely there. There's a certain group of cretins, scumbag ass motherfuckers, who are basically saying they're tired of hearing about Kobe Bryant. You know, because they renamed the MVP All Star Trophy after Kobe Bryant. Vanessa Bryant was there because her husband obviously is no longer here. These things somehow annoyed them, and they accused the NBA of milking Kobe's death, right? When they easily could have had Kobe announced last, if that's really what you're going after. I think what it truly is, I can't defensively say who these people are and who their their favorite player is, but you read between the lines, you get a gist of what is going on. There's a particular insidious group of fans, extreme fans, that only want one particular player to get shine. And anybody else that gets any appreciation or any praise, it's a problem for these motherfuckers, right? But yeah, you had people, check it out. There's people out there who are basically saying they're sick of hearing about Kobe Bryant. It's been long enough. People need to move on and stop talking about him. That's what the fuck they said. Mind you, it was a top 75 ceremony at halftime. How are you not going to talk about Kobe if he's part of the celebration? But see, what it is deeper than that. It's deeper than that. A certain pathetic, extreme fan group have had it in for this guy for many years because he was the most popular player in the NBA. He was the most respected player in the NBA. And they want to erase him. A particular player that they root for went to LA to pass him in scoring, to try to pass him in rings, but that's going to be a failure. And it's not just about Mike. Kobe's part of the equation too. Let me say this too. I've been on YouTube as a content creator for over 10 years. I've been on YouTube for over 15 years. I mean, I've been on here a long fucking time, man. I remember back during the days where the people that ruled the basketball community were Bruce Blitz, um, NBA Jerry, uh, KB24 Paw, uh, Hoops Encyclopedia, Starks 23. Um, I mean, I've just been on here for a long time, man. But back then, at least online, the raging debate was who was the GOAT, Jordan or Kobe? Jordan or Kobe? And Jesse Gladsaget, uh, Casey, Sopa, they can back me up on this. That was the raging debate back then. Not LeBron versus uh, Mike, Kobe versus Mike. As a matter of fact, LeBron's fan base was a lot different back then because it consisted of guys like me, Sopa, Jesse. He didn't have these nincompoops, these morons. I'm talking about extreme fans now. It didn't consist of that because LeBron was respected at the time because he was going about it the right way. What made a lot of people lose respect for LeBron is when the decision, the decision, him changing his strategy to try to get championships the easy way. That's something we had never seen before. Not players colluding with each other to form a super team. That's not something that we had seen before. Um, and it cheapened the NBA. And it had a toxic influence because we see how it affected Kevin Durant, who was initially completely against the idea of forming super teams, but he felt pressure to do the same. But yeah, getting back to Kobe, he's never going to go away. He's never going to go away. You know, the passing of Kobe Bryant made me understand more how NASCAR fans felt when Dale Earnhardt passed away back in 2001. I'm not a NASCAR fan, but I noticed that a lot of Dale Earnhardt fans to this day still mourn his passing. They have pictures of Dale Earnhardt, you know, in their homes or on their desk at work. And at the time I was like, why did he's just a sports star. I mean, why? But these athletes mean a lot more than just putting a hoop in the basket or driving around a track 50 times. It's deeper than that. Kobe Bryant was the Lakers. He played 20 years with the Lakers. Kobe Bryant had to work hard to get to what he reached. He didn't have the natural gifts that LeBron had. Kobe wasn't blessed with some of the physical gifts that Jordan had. He had to work harder than anybody else, probably in the history of the NBA, to attain what he attained. He had to work for his position. He wasn't handed the keys at age 18 to the kingdom like LeBron. Even though he was beating Eddie Jones in practice 1-on-1, back then it was more about seniority. He had to wait and work hard to get that starting position. And then when he got that starting position, he had to work harder to get that superstar status and become his own player. Be respected as a player, you know, who uh, was of that status so that he could call his own shots. And then he had to get rid of Shaq because, in the grand scheme of things, he would never be respected as the man, as unpopular as that move was for a couple of years. So yeah, there is a concerted effort to sort of wipe Kobe out. And this is coming from a guy who used to criticize Kobe a lot. I don't hide from that. I don't hide from that at all. But to sit there and say that Kobe's not part of the GOAT conversation all of a sudden, you notice that didn't start until he called ESPN and a lot of their staff a bunch of idiots. That's when they turned on him and they started Xing Kobe out of the conversation. And that's when it started going full throttle more LeBron James. That and some other issues going on too, with a whole bunch of clutch sports clients in the media and shit, or clutch sports sympathizers. But yeah, at the end of the day, to sit there and say that people need to move on from Kobe and you know that's stupid. His fans will never uh, going to just forget him or stop celebrating him to make you feel better, or because you feel like, why are we still celebrating the guy? Because he was great, you dumb bitch. That's why. He was fucking great. Some of these motherfuckers, they only want people to celebrate one goddamn player. They want one player. And if you talk about Ja Morant or Giannis or Kyrie or anybody, they get fucking uptight about it. They get upset Oh, I don't want to hear you talk about, why you always talking about this guy? What has he done? Uh, uh, he only had one title. Where's Kyrie done since LeBron? End of the day, man, shit is disgusting to me. And, the league is not going to forget, and his fans are not going to make people forget about Kobe or how great he was. Like I said before, you got some people out there who are trying to erase Kobe's legacy. And the way those crowds cheered last night tells a story. The two loudest cheers to me were Mike and Kobe. LeBron's was loud too, but they were in Cleveland. So that should tell you right there what the real is. So anyway, tell me what you guys think.